Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, I thought I'd start out with this one because we've talked about it a couple times on the show, a couple times, especially the first case in the 90s that revealed the location of Area 51 due to workers having basically cancer rates, cancer and all kinds of medical problems due to probably them dumping military-grade nuclear waste there. Well, there's another lawsuit coming, and people coming out saying workers claim colleagues killed by invisible enemy. For those listening on the Paranormal Soup Radio Network, we are a webcast streaming out live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But I will narrate as best as possible. All right, so first up, I don't have Rob, so I got to get this working myself here. Get the share screen up. Article 1. Invisible illness. Is it radiation poisoning? I don't know. This one is a little weirder, it seems. And I got this, not the original article here, but Unexplained Mysteries, a little shorter article. According to a group, hundreds of workers who were once stationed at the Nevada Test Training Range, or NTTR, a highly restricted region of the desert, which is also home to the secretive Area 51 facility, have since died of serious illnesses caused by exposure to high levels of what? You guessed it, radiation. Nuclear testing during the 1970s is thought to be primarily responsible. Despite the risk, a 1975 report from the U.S. Energy Research and Development Administration allegedly concluded that it would be against the national interest to put a stop to the work being conducted at the site. Compounding that frustration of those impacted by the radiation exposure at the site, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is reportedly declining to provide medical coverage. This is because, owing to the classified nature of the operation conducted there, all the relevant official records remain restricted and sufficient evidence of exposure cannot be provided. David Creed, a former Air Force sergeant who worked at the site in the 1980s, maintains that over 490 of his colleagues have since died, that he, too, is suffering from various health complications. Even today, much of what these men did at that site remains classified. It's just a matter of a betrayal. Veteran Mike Nemick told News Nation, "These folks are new, and they purposely kept it quiet because it was more beneficial to them to not tell us." So they didn't even know why these workers were being exposed to these high levels of radiation. Even this is how this place got exposed in the 90s. They had to officially admit in court that this place existed because people came out that were dying. And again, then too, as same as now, nothing's changed. They weren't getting medical benefits to even help them. They were denied. You think they're going to give us disclosure? I always think
about too how Anthony got that weird, mysterious illness from something he had touched.
Well, it seems like somebody tried to poison him. That's what I think. I mean, the way it sounds is like somebody actually really tried to put like a hitman deal out on Anthony and tried to poison him with a neurotoxin. I mean, yeah, nothing to play around with. Yeah, I mean, you don't think they don't let people die or kill people? They don't give a crap about people. They'll let anyone die. They'll kill people to keep it quiet. There's a long history of it. They don't care about anyone. The people in charge of this stuff don't care about the peons. And they don't care if you can't handle the truth, But this isn't anything about aliens. This is about them and nuclear testing. And I think they're like, it's nuclear testing we did back in the 70s. No, you started dumping your nuclear waste there, too. Just they piled onto it. But moving on. Maybe we deserve what's coming next, I don't know. For this next article. I got to remember I'm still out of practice after 2 weeks. All right. Next one. Seen this everywhere. Mysterious alien spacecraft could launch attack on Earth in November, new study says. The Martians are coming. Or the aliens, or somewhere from out there. Manhattan-sized mystery object could potentially be a hostile alien spacecraft set to launch an attack on Earth this November, according to a recent study. Earlier this month, Boffins confirmed the sighting of a rare interstellar visitor, only the third of its kind ever spotted, zooming through our solar system at a breakneck speed. A draft scientific paper dated 22nd of July has put forward the theory that the object known as 3I Atlas might be extraterrestrial tech and could spring to a surprise assault on our planet. The research reckons that a 3I Atlas orbit is such that it would make it easier for a clever alien craft to sneak up on Earth undetected. They suggest that when it gets closest to the sun in a late November, the object will be out of sight from Earth, allowing to execute a covert high-speed maneuver to slow down and remain in the solar system, secretly gearing up for an attack. They also note that 3I Atlas has an unusual trajectory that brings it very close to planets like Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, something highly unlikely to occur by chance with less than a 0.005% probability. One of the authors of the paper, which is yet to be peer-reviewed, remember that, is A.V. Loeb, a renowned Harvard astrophysicist known for his controversial research and outspoken views on the hunt for extraterrestrial intelligence. He made headlines for suggesting that in 2017, interstellar object Amanu, if I get that right, I always butcher it, might be an artificial probe created by alien civilizations based on its peculiar acceleration and shape. Also working on the paper were Adam Hilberd and Adam Kroll, researchers for the Initiative for Interstellar Studies based in London. They made it clear that their research is purely speculative, not necessarily based on facts that they believe. What does that mean? Nothing against A.V. Loeb. I really don't. I'd love to talk to the guy. But, aliens are invading. Don't look at the Epstein files. I don't know.
Well, that's what always happens. Uh-oh, people are paying attention. Bring out the aliens.
I swear it's gonna be the wag the bone in front of us is going to be the aliens. We get alien stuff. Come look over here.
The Fox News, I think it was, that showed what looked like Roger, the American Dad alien, running across a house in Compton.
We covered that alien. Remember?
That was just going around like right before this.
Yeah, they didn't want to talk about a lot of things. Let's put Roger up there from American.
Yeah.
Hey, my wife laughing up there. Yeah. Don't look over here. Nothing to see. No Epstein files. No nothing. No blah blah blah. Shut up. No aliens, people. All right, no. But it's interesting. It says its trajectory that maybe it's going to attack Earth. I don't know. If it is, we're screwed. Even if we reverse engineered alien technology, whatever it is still far behind whatever be coming here.
And this article didn't mention that it's most likely a comet, even.
Right. It has an unusual speed trajectory, is what I've read about it before when it was first spotted. Who knows? Maybe we can blame these people over in Scotland for our next article. I wish I could. Someone Rob's great. He pulls it up, and I just can't do it. Not quick. Next article. Number 3. Yeah, I have to tell myself that to get the right article. Group will try to summon a UFO site in Scottish Counter. Chilling Scottish Counter here. This is the original article from the Sun. UFO hunters plan bizarre event to summon alien spaceship to Scotland. So we can blame them for the alien invasion, right? An unusual event will take place later this month in the Dushmont Woods near Livingston, Scotland, at the site of one of the country's most chilling UFO incidents that involved forestry worker Robert Taylor, who encountered a strange object while walking the woods with his dog in 1979. At the time, Taylor recalled witnessing a large metallic craft in a clearing before being approached by metallic probe-like machines, which latched onto his clothes and caused him to black out. Upon awakening, the UFO had vanished and his clothes were torn. You were abducted, dude. Later investigation revealed strange markings in the grass where the object had been. Now, an attempt to summon the UFO group of enthusiasts, including investigator Malcolm Robinson, will be journeying to the very same location to enact a technique developed by Dr. Stephen Greer, known as Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind Protocol. And only $3,000 for you to come join. No, sorry. Probably. The method involves using a combination of telepathy and meditation and relies on the notion that entities in question exist beyond three-dimensional space. I'm into all those things, Stephen Greer. I believe those things are very much possible. I just don't want you being the guy that tells me that you're doing it or we're conducting it. I don't trust you. But he recently has been teaming up or going to that Jacob Barber's thing. Where they're supposed to be meditating and bringing these UFOs down. He's latched onto that. I don't know. Maybe Stephen Greer's a legit guy. He's been in the field a long time, but I just have some questions, some questionable things I'm not going to get into. I think there's a lot to people being able to summon these things, though. I think there's a long history of that, and these people could do it, Stephen Greer or not.
I think so too. And just like anything else, if enough people are coming together.
I just want to know, are they charging people to come to this event? Or should you just be letting people come in?
Good question.
I don't know. Good question. All right. Where are we at? Yes, number 4. Okay, so I was driving back with my dad. Picked me up from the airport, and he listens to some of the shows, and he's a very open-minded guy, but very into this kind of scientific quantum physics kind of guy. And but he's really open to a lot of these ideas. But one thing he told me he was not into, he just couldn't buy, and he just made him laugh, was Bigfoot. Yeah, sorry, my dad's not a Bigfoot believer, and I get it. It's a hard one. I think it is a hard one for a lot of people. But I had to just, for my dad's sake, share 3 stories. And I told him what I do is I believe people. He thinks the mind can be tricked, or your mind tricks you. And that's definitely a thing. But everybody's mind being tricked by the same thing? Always Bigfoot, big hairy guy in the woods? Maybe. It's a little close to my idea about parasitic entities that can morph and become your fears, a beast in the woods. But here are some people who have seen Bigfoot. And one later video, it's going to be very blurry. It's not going to be very provable of anything. But hey, video. Volunteers run into Bigfoot during a search for missing girl in Arizona, according to a report submitted to the Bigfoot Field Research Organization, or BFRO, which we cite a lot of time on here. They're a great website. The incident occurred back on June 15th when a woman named Amber, along with her husband and cousin, ventured out into the wilderness to help find a girl who had gone missing in the area. The group had gone 20 miles down a dirt track after dark, and they had been using a spotlight to help illuminate their way when they beam shone into something large standing nearby. The creature was described as a 7 foot tall, at least 400 pounds, and had a wide body and shoulders. Its eyes reflected a golden color. Its face was described as leathery, and it was covered in hair. The group stood there standing in horror at the creature for several minutes before deciding to flee. Fortunately, the girl who they had been looking for was later found safe and well, but she did have her own story to tell. She told rescuers that she had been spooked by something in the undergrowth that had caused her to panic and run away, resulting in a tumble off a cliff. Ouch. She also described seeing glowing things moving towards her in the darkness. Could her ordeal have been sparked by an encounter with the same creature? And here we are talking about glowing orbs again and Bigfoot, and things that are just not just a creature in the woods that we haven't identified. I don't know. I thought that was a really interesting story. Moving on. More Bigfoot. Let's see here. No, not that one. Dang it, I do the wrong one. I'm getting there, people. I'm getting better. I swear. Here we go. You got a bunch of campers. I mean, where else are you going to find Bigfoot when you're camping, right? A pair of campers with binoculars report seeing Bigfoot in Washington State. A pair of campers in Washington State could not believe their eyes when they looked through their binoculars and spotted what appeared to be a Sasquatch. The new case was reported to the Bigfoot Research Organization by witnesses Rylan Snyder, who explained that the sighting occurred on June 26th while he was camping with a buddy at the Wenatchee River. Wenatchee River? Did you say that? The 2 men relaxed that evening had recalled that their conversation came to a sudden stop when his friend noticed something unusual across the river. Grabbing their binoculars, the pair was stunned by what they saw. Recollecting the observation, Snyder marveled that they caught a sight of a bipedal creature standing around 8 to 10 feet tall and sporting very dark reddish-brown hair that covered its whole body except its face and hands. The pair were understandably awestruck as they passed binoculars back and forth, watching the mysterious figure as it moved branches and other brush around. Upon getting a second look at the suspected Sasquatch, Snyder said it turned its face towards him, revealing a very ape-like visage with a flat nose. Chillingly, it would appear that the possible Bigfoot also noticed the 2 campers as the creature scanned across the river with its eyes and seemingly saw the pair, which prompted it to quickly flee the scene, still on 2 feet. Expressing regret that he did not have the phone with him, Snyder indicated the hopes to return to the location, having weirdly fallen ill the day after the sighting, to look for any possible evidence of the creature. Now, that's another interesting aspect. I've heard of this with people having these sightings and then getting ill after a Bigfoot sighting. Glowing orbs, getting ill. But here are 2, again, multiple witnesses seeing that. Is it all a shared delusion? Could they all be lying? I don't think so. Could it be something else besides a hairy creature? Like I said, something we don't understand from another dimension, a walk-in. I don't know. A lot of possibilities here, but something's happening. All right, on to the last one. Well, not the last one tonight, but the last Bigfoot one. Sorry, shouldn't be humming. This one will be a video file. Yep. I gotta make sure I stop it. Yep, there. Yeah, it's gonna have a lot of noise. I don't know if I'll play the audio because it's just like really loud. Sasquatch spotted crossing Mountain Ridge in Canada. Curious piece of footage, and this is from Tim Bindle from Coast to Coast again. A curious piece of footage in Canada shows a mysterious anomaly crossing a mountain ridge, and the witness who spotted the oddity suspect that it could have been a Bigfoot. The interesting video was reportedly filmed earlier this month in Canmore, Alberta, sharing the footage with the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization, another site I love. Research group, one of the witnesses explained that this brother-in-law captured a mysterious moment with his cell phone as he also watched the strange scene unfold. We are so happy to have seen it too, he wrote, marveling at how big it was and the way it moved across so quickly. Okay, so this is going to be really small. This is going to be hard to see, and people are like, my dad probably. Be like, very skeptical. What do you see? You just see a dot or something moving on top of a mountain. You got to realize this is on top of a mountain. Who's up there by themselves and that big? You got to be pretty big. I think you can tell whatever's up there is pretty big. And very noticeable, even though it's a very small dot on our screen, and it's grainy. I know. Just hear me out here, all right? We're going to play. This is from the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization has this up. You can see this on their YouTube channel, and a much deeper, better analysis. I think he does a 400 times zoom in here. But, yeah, here's the zoom in, like 400% enlarged. I think I zoom in on it a little bit on my own, too. But, yeah, it's just a dot. There's my zoom in, trying to see the dot. But something's up there moving. Now, could it be an animal? Yeah, maybe. Could be. Big one. But it almost looks like a person up there. I know it's not definitive Bigfoot proof. And why don't we have definitive Bigfoot proof? With all the cell phones and cameras, that was my dad's question. I get it. You know, it could be coming, and would we believe it with AI now? You could get the total, somebody out there could have Bigfoot walk right up to them with their cell phone, capture it tomorrow, post it on TikTok, and it'll be lost in the plethora of AI videos and never seen or known to be real. We'll never, I don't know. The video proof won't be it. So, hate to say it, it's a dead body or nothing with this one. But if there are glowing orbs and other dimensions and things we don't understand about these experiences or what we're seeing in this video, if that's a Bigfoot, there might not be no body to have. I don't know.
Is it moving or staying still?
It's moving.
Oh, okay, it's hard to tell.
It's going across the ridge. It's going on top of the mountain. It's either a very serious hiker, a big guy up there by himself.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Or we got a Bigfoot or something else. It looks like something walking, not like an animal, you know.
Like a backpacker.
Yeah, this is more than a backpacker journey, though, to get on top of that mountain.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely not. Like I said, there's still no definitive proof. I think the what you may call it film, the most famous Gimlin, whatever that to me, I still think is pretty extraordinary proof in my opinion. But we got one more for the night, and I think I'd end with this one because the last 2 weeks ago we ended with a really cool one. I'd say cool in the sense that the boy was unharmed or whatever, but he had a moment of whatever near-death experience, even though he didn't die. But I don't think, these experiences of afterlife, you don't always die. You get hit in the head. Something happens. This kid the kid last couple weeks ago had a skateboarding accident. This kid drowned, this next one. And he had another very similar experience, I think, to what we talked about last week. I don't have a video this time of this kid. There is a video news thing, but I don't want to share it. But this is the one articles on it. 6-year-old boy survives near drowning, says he witnesses angels in heaven. Louisiana boy who survived a near drowning earlier this month, this is from Tim Bindle from Coast to Coast, stunned his nurses and family when he vividly recounted visiting heaven during the harrowing experiences. The remarkable incident reportedly occurred on July 4th at the Paragon Casino Resort in the city of Marksville. Celebrating the holiday with his family, 6-year-old DJ Parker was sitting poolside and wound up in the water when his parents took their eyes off of him for a moment. That's terrifying. His mother, Krista Parker, soon spotted his lifeless body and sprang into action to save her son. Performing CPR alongside her husband, the couple managed to revive the boy, who was taken to a nearby hospital where he had quite the story to tell. While recovering from the perilous incident, DJ told the nurses and his parents that he had visited heaven during the near drowning. God is real. I saw him. I saw him and Uncle Queenane, if that's how you say his name. Krista called her son, saying to the astonished adults in the room, amazingly, the boy also recounted hearing a choir of angels and seeing a bevy of clouds that he seemingly made a brief journey into the other side. Similar to many individuals who report near-death experiences, DJ was transformed by what happened to him, telling his parents that he wished to change his name to the Hebrew word for air, Avir, A-V-I-R, because that was where he encountered God, and he was granted to return to the realm of the living. The boy's family stressed that he did not receive any medication or suffer any brain damage or lung damage that might explain the vivid account he had shared at the hospital. His story is just so real, Crystal marveled. Only he can explain it. And he's 6 years old, man. That's a lot for a 6-year-old to be coming out there and saying after an experience like this. And, and a couple weeks ago was a boy who had an accident in a skating park accident. But, you could see him in the video having, like, this experience. I think this boy, he had a near-death experience. He drowned. They had to do CPR. He might have been dead just long enough. Time doesn't matter over there. You just need a second for them to show him this or have this experience. I think these experiences are very real. I love hearing about them. And whenever I see a story about these, I want to share them. So that's it for the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight's guest is Fethullah Adrimi. We're going to talk about her book, Sacred Mysticism of Egypt. That's our topic tonight. This is a book here, Sacred Mysticism of Egypt, The Ancient Path of the Heka Initiation. After this short commercial break. And, of course, later in the show, we're going to have opened the phone lines up for you guys to join the conversation with our guest Fethullah tonight. Just wait.